So today, we're diving into a story that's, well, it's more than just a story, right? It feels like it could be a new myth, one for our digital age. It's all about this quiet war, a war for our attention, our data, and maybe, just maybe, our souls. So yeah, let's break this thing down. We all grew up with these huge, epic stories, right? Think Star Wars, rebels fighting empires in galaxies far, far away. These stories, they literally shaped generations. But what if the next big one, the foundational story for our time, looks totally different? I mean, what if it's not a fight with lightsabers and spaceships, but something quieter, a conflict fought with intention, with community, and a real connection to the unseen stuff? This is a battle for what it even means to be alive, right here, right now, in the 21st century. Okay, so at the very heart of this story, you've got these two totally opposed ways of looking at the world. It's like two different blueprints, two architectures for reality itself. One is all about connection, and the other? It's all about control. So, check this out. On one side, you have the sanctuary. It's built on things like reciprocity, relationships, and the unseen, stuff you can't really measure. Then, on the other side, you've got the shadow architect. For this system, the world is just pure data. It's something to be extracted, something to be sold, a transaction. So you might be asking, who's the bad guy here? Well, it's not really a person, which is what's so interesting. It's a philosophy. The shadow architect is this huge corporate force that looks at a sacred living valley and sees nothing. Or, well, not nothing. It sees caloric value, chemical potency, untapped resources. It's the absolute peak of turning everything into a commodity. And get this, the goal of the shadow architect goes way beyond just the physical stuff. It doesn't just want the land. No, it wants the soul of the land. It's literally trying to colonize our most sacred, most internal experiences. And the way it spreads, the source material has this brilliant description. It's like a digital fungus. It creeps in and it co-opts the language of the sacred. It takes words like enlightenment and connection and uses them to sell you this hollow, empty imitation. And this is how they do it. This phrase is just perfect. Pay-per-view shamanism. Can you believe that? Sacred visions streamed right to your device for a monthly fee. I mean, just think about the modern wellness industry, right? All these mindfulness apps promising enlightenment as a service. All you need is your credit card for a transcendent experience. But it gets even crazier. The ambition here doesn't just stop at selling you the experience. No, the ultimate goal is to own the source code of it, to actually map the DNA of a sacred vine and then patent the biological sequence of transcendence itself, literally owning enlightenment. Yeah, the source material just comes right out and says it. They are weaponizing the spirit. This isn't just business as usual. This is about taking ancient wisdom and turning it into just another product on the shelf. So, how in the world do you fight something like that? You can't just blow it up. So instead of using force, the community in this story comes up with this completely different strategy. It's a kind of resistance that's not about fighting back, but about becoming, well, invisible to the machine. And their playbook is it's a masterclass in asymmetrical resistance. It's brilliant. So instead of building walls, they build a network that has no center. Instead of writing stuff down where it can be copied and sold, they put their wisdom into songs. Trust becomes their contract. And the result of all this? They become functionally invisible to a system that can only see what it can record and measure. And this really captures the philosophical difference perfectly. You've got the communities network, which is like mycelium, the underground network of mushrooms. It's sharing, it's reciprocal, it's alive. And then you have the machines network, which is just a total mockery of connection. It's only built to extract. One gives, and the other only ever takes. And this right here, this is the core of their resistance. In this story, true power is found in all the stuff that you can't measure, that you can't digitize. Because look, if the machine can't see it, it can't own it. And if it can't own it, well, it sure as hell can't sell it. Okay, so all of this builds to a really fascinating climax. Because the conflict doesn't get resolved with some big, flashy battle. It's a quiet moment of truth. And this is where we see a totally new kind of victory, one that just kind of resets the balance. So the turning point happens when the head of the shadow architect comes and offers this partnership deal. And the response from the community's leader, it's so simple but so profound. He just says, "You cannot sell a soul by selling it back its own reflection." And boom, with that one sentence, he rejects their entire transactional worldview. What this story is doing here is offering a radical redefinition of power. See, it isn't force, it isn't control. True power is this authentic connection to life, a connection so real, so vibrant, that it just reflects the absolute emptiness of the system that's trying to buy and sell it. So, in that final confrontation, the bad guy isn't defeated by a punch or a weapon. His own device, this thing that was supposed to nullify the spirit of the valley, it just shatters. It can't handle being confronted with a truth it can't process. The machine literally short circuits from its own hollowness. So, this chart kind of breaks down exactly why it failed. Look, the shadow architect had these incredibly complex sensors, right? Off the charts. But the data it was gathering, it was totally meaningless, low integrity. Why? Because it couldn't capture the messy, chaotic, interconnected reality of actual life. And the result? Monetization just completely failed. You can't profit from a world you refuse to understand. So you see, the victory here isn't about destroying the machine. It's about the community remembering and protecting and really living the one thing the machine can never, ever have: that authentic, reciprocal, unseen connection. And that brings it all back to us, doesn't it? It leaves us with a question for our own lives. In a world that is obsessed with data, a world that wants to measure and track and monetize absolutely everything, this story asks us to really think. What is the value of your unseen? What are the parts of you that can never be captured by data? And maybe more importantly, how do you protect them